Hey guys, Luton here. First of all, I'm sorry, I had to make a video about this map, I had to, but it's all good, so bear with me, okay. This is of course Dragon Valley, the Battlefield 2 Classic map, which is on the CTE right now. A little disclaimer as well, for some reason, I normally play on the CTE fine. It is just not working for me, this map. I spent so much time trying to get this footage for you guys because it was not working for me. I could not load in. It took me over an hour to try and get any gameplay whatsoever, and when I did, there's no sound and players are invisible to me. I have no idea what's going on. Regular Battlefield works just fine. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about this map, and you're going to have to take it with a pinch of salt as well, because unfortunately, as I say, I would have liked to have had a lot more time with this, but because of the sort of something not working right with it, I have not been able to play it to the fullest extent. However, having played it already on Battlefield 2 and having played some this evening, it gives me a little indication of how it's going to be. I've also watched a few people's videos, which has helped me form a sort of opinion about the gameplay and the look and feel of the map. So Dragon Valley is a large map, it's a large scale map back towards Battlefield 2, and you know, initially when I saw this was coming and I saw some of the gameplay, I was worried, I was concerned, because I thought, can the Battlefield player base in its current state handle a map of this size? Because most people are used to playing on the more medium-sized to small-sized maps of Battlefield 4 and even Battlefield 3. Of course, you do have some larger maps like, you know, Goldman and stuff like this, but overall people are used to playing on a sort of more scaled-down version, certainly compared to the size of maps in Battlefield 2, and even Bad Company to an extent on some of those maps. A lot of the maps would fit twice inside these scale of maps. So my concern was whether people would have the ability to really grasp what was needed to actually play out these games. Now I think actually they will, and from what I've seen in the gameplay there was enough sort of movement around, but again my experience was limited there, so we really will have to wait and see. But it also got me to thinking about something else. So far we have not really had any of these kind of scale maps, and I think these scale maps really add a lot to the pace of the game. These maps are slower in pace because they're larger, the distances between bases are more significant, so you have to fight on the way to those maps. It means that there is a completely different approach when it comes to playing certain roles in terms of repairing vehicles, flanking, attacking, making, you know, hit and runs. The aircraft play out in different ways because they can do attack and run. It doesn't mean that they're constantly vulnerable all the time. There's a lot of different ways in which the scale of the map plays out. And I think for a large part, this is why some frustration has been vented towards Battlefield 4 and even Hardline, because the way in which those maps have been created does not really play out in the sense that a lot of veteran Battlefield players will have experienced. And I think this could be a really positive thing to bring this map in, because this map could show people what they have been missing. For the longest time I've been trying to explain about how it's good to play a certain map and how you want to see the objective play and people pushing around from base to base, but I think a lot of the time maybe people just haven't experienced what I have in the past and therefore can't really get to grips with what it is and sort of understand why that's a good thing. I also put this little bit of footage in right here where I get wrecked by this tank because I knew he was going to, but I just wanted to showcase that when you're driving up here with a boat like this, you're not invulnerable, okay? Tanks will flank and wreck you from here, and this is why it's going to be important for, you know, anti-armor teams to deal with these guys and not leave them just driving around unopposed. So my hope is that with this map, that players who are new to Battlefield, be that Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, of which a lot of people are, having come into the series at that point, will see this map and be like, wow, this is like something I have not played before in Battlefield, because they will have been playing on the still large but smaller maps of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. This, I hope, will open people's eyes to what it is that they are missing. This kind of map encourages team play. It encourages team play, and it also encourages micro battles, okay? You have more significant micro battles around certain bases because those, you know, sort of close quarter situations, as you'll see with certain bases here, will be more significant. trying to fight for a base before you move on to the next is going to have a larger role to play than it will do in some other maps, where currently in Battlefield 4 you may like hit a base, have a little fight, cap it and move. Well, on these kind of style maps with the larger scale, you may have to fight for a more extended period of time at a base or keep coming back and defending it. You may even have to defend for more extended periods of time on some of these bases. So I'm hoping that this map will encourage people to play in a slightly different way than they have up to right now. And I hope that the scale of the map will largely dictate that, but you know, that remains to be seen. The other good thing is that if this works out as I'm hoping and imagining it may, that people sort of embrace this map, look at the scale of it, and understand that this way of playing is much more true to what I envisage Battlefield to be than what has been happening in recent times, then maybe there's a hope that going into Battlefield 5, which as I have said is my last hope for Battlefield. Battlefield 5 for me really is the be all and end all. If Battlefield 5 does not present and perform, then I have said I will, for, you know, unless something major presents itself, will be stepping away from the Battlefield series, which I don't really want to happen. I was saying to the guys last night, that's the last thing I want to happen. It would be sad, because Battlefield to me plays out better, it looks better, and overall I've been committed to the series for the longest time. But in recent times the player base has deteriorated in terms of gameplay. Some decisions in terms of the way in which the game has been presented I have not agreed with, and overall I've felt like it's slipped away from what it was that originally brought me into the series. But this map gives me some hope, a little bit of hope, that for the future we may actually see some real true Battlefield games coming back in, and I really hope that people get on board and enjoy this map and actually see it for what it is. It frustrates me a lot sometimes when people say that I'm way too negative about the games, when in fact all it is that I enjoy the Battlefield series so much, and Battlefield saved me from, you know, the horrors of Call of Duty at the time, and I just want to see this game be what I know it can be, and I want to see the games play out in the way that I have seen them play out. Also, look at the way in which you can fly across here with the jets. It's a completely different feeling, it's a completely different situation, and the jets are going to be able to handle and engage ground and air in a totally different way than they are on a lot of Battlefield 4 maps. So thanks for watching today, guys. I would appreciate your thoughts below. I'm really looking forward to seeing this map progress, and I really hope that DICE and the team over there take on board some of the things that I hope the community will be feeding back about this map, because I think it holds a lot of promise, and I hope that this is more of the format that we will see going into Battlefield 5. Thanks for watching today, guys. As always, if you've enjoyed, drop a rating and a comment below, and I'll see you next time.